Before we get into the video, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. This week has been plagued by violence. Police have released the first images of a teenager whom died after he was attacked and heinously stabbed multiple times. He was later found in Melbourne Street in Leicester this week. 18-year-old Abdirahim Mohamed was found with catastrophic injuries in Melbourne Street in the Spinney Hills area of Leicester on Wednesday night, September 8th. Now, paramedics found this young man laying in the streets, literally bleeding out, and after trying to stabilise his vitals, he was transferred to hospital. Sadly, he died a few hours later. So now we're talking about a murder inquiry, which was launched after he succumbed to his injuries and passed away in the early hours of Thursday morning, September 9th. So far, a 58-year-old man from the city has been arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to murder. He currently remains in custody, where he is still being questioned by detectives leading the investigation. And as to the reason why the young man was murdered so heinously, there hasn't been a motive established as of yet. What we do know is there was a form of an attack and an assault did take place, but we can't say for sure whether this was a fight or something went wrong. Now, the use of the word assault rather than attack means that one person was put in immediate danger, and the age difference between the victim and the man arrested is a 30-year plus gap, which means that on the surface of things, these two people would not have anything in common. So how and why did these two people cross paths? Now, after the death was confirmed, distraught friends and family members had arranged a vigil to remember the young man's life. Sadly, when they attended the area, which was approved by the police, they were met with the very real fact that Abdirahim Mohamed's blood was still stained the pavement and the tarmac. Now, I personally cannot even begin to fathom the shock or disgust or anger they must have felt. Seeing the sight of blood from a loved one makes the hurt that much more real. Originally, a youth worker had approached the police about getting the blood cleaned up, but a neighbour moved into action and went about mopping up the blood with sheets of fabric he had in his house. And then all it took was one person to start the cleaning up before the rest of the neighbours spurred into action. They took out brooms, they took out mops, they took out cleaning cloths and buckets of soapy water, and they decided to band together and clean up the painful reminder themselves. Councillor for Stonygate, Kirk Masters, whom also attended the vigil, says that he spoke to the police and at a minimum asked the police force to issue a public apology and a more personal one for friends and family. Now that's all well and good, but the only issue is the damage has already been done. To be honest, these type of apologies are very hollow. It cannot possibly carry any weight when you can't be asked to clean up the evidence. If the blood couldn't have been cleaned in time, then surely the police would advise the family that entering the area would only leave them more upset, as the blood hadn't been cleaned up yet. Or, to be very frank, the police could have said a vigil is not a good idea at the moment and arranged it for another time. All I can say is condolences to 18-year-old Abdirahim's family and friends. Stay safe.